What up, you beautiful nerds? My name is Fallout, and remember to click the subscribe button. If you do it for the first time, I can actually feel it in my bones. True story. By the way, what the f***? I told you not to watch today's video. Anyway, the other weekend, me and the boys were effing around in PvP, and we decided to put together a really stupid build. We were mostly bored, but yeah, some people we played against got really angry about it, even in quick play. By the way, I know I'm blurring this guy's name out, but do me a favor and don't reach out to the dude or harass him. Poor lad just kind of sounded like he was having a bad day, and honestly, I think we've all been there. He did call me a burger though, which is probably my favorite thing ever. Look out for a Fallout burger emote coming soon to a Twitch channel near you. I mean, like for real though. Side note, if you're looking for balanced PvP, you probably shouldn't be playing D2. Just saying. Anyway, this build is something I'm gonna not recommend anybody use unless you really want to accomplish the following: make your opponents want to put a curse on you IRL, make you question your own morals, or guarantee that you and the boys are officially never allowed into heaven. And with that out of the way, why don't we talk about the forbidden loadout that you should never use. But real quick, I gotta tell you about one of the best shooter games of 2021, Frag Pro Shooter. Designed for mobile devices, there are more than 80 million players overall, with around 1 million people hopping on to play Frag every day. Don't worry about overly complicated rules because there ain't much to it. All you gotta do is destroy the enemy bunkers as quickly as possible. First to do that wins. Told you it was easy. There's over 100 characters to collect and each have specific rules and powers. Create your deck and build your own strategy to tear down them bunkers. There's even new characters joining Frag's championship: Jaeger the Monster Hunter and Kazulu the Monster. Not only that, but there's a Halloween contest going on right now. All you gotta do is dress up like that beautiful in-game monster, take a picture of yourself, and tag on social media with hashtag Frag666, and you can potentially win a Nintendo Switch. Right now, I got my own in-game club, the Long Barrel Boys, if anyone out there wants to join. Remember, no measuring. As a special offer, I got free rewards for you, only if you use the link down below in the video description, even for those of you who have already installed Frag. A golden chest, 500 coins, and 50 diamonds. Again, only by using my link in the video description. Go have some fun on your mobile device, and big thank you again to Frag Pro Shooter. Alright, back to the content. So here's the whole idea around the build. We were trying to find ways to abuse the Monarque exotic bow. Fighting against people who main that bow in PvP is already fairly maddening, but we wanted to take it even further beyond and see if we could get to a place where we could consistently one-tap people in PvP with the Monarch. If you're a Monarch main, you probably are familiar with the armor mod High Energy Fire, which, if you didn't know, gives you a 20% damage buff even in PvP if you are charged with light. That 20% is barely what you're gonna need to give the Monarch the ability to one-tap, provided you hit your enemy in the head in PvP. The burn damage from the toxic arrow will be just enough to make them tick out over time. I'm already feeling a little bit grimy describing this to you, by the way. Now, even though Monarch is dummy strong with High Energy Fire, you can't always have that buff active during a game of PvP. Enter the Boots of the Assembler. Yeah, today's build only kinda works on the condition that multiple people on the team commit to being a terrible person. Boots of the Assembler, if you don't know, allow your friendly neighborhood warlock to feed rift buffs to other people nearby, i.e. if you stand in an empowering rift, then noble seekers will poof up out of your rift and travel nearby towards a teammate who will then get a brief empowerment buff of 20%. However, Boots of the Assembler actually function quite weirdly, or so we figured out. If you turn on an empowering rift and then attempt to feed people with that rift buff via the Boots of the Assembler, the duration of the Noble Seeker round will only be about 5 seconds long. Definitely long enough to get a one-shot Monarch kill, but not all the time. If the enemy figures out what you and the boys are doing, and trust me, after one kill, they will, they're gonna start avoiding you and your shenanigans. Enter the Lumina exotic hand cannon. Many of y'all already know that when paired together, Lumina actually gets fed its unique Noble Round hand cannon ability by the Boots of the Assembler for doing nothing. If you didn't know that, well, it's exactly what I said. Activate your rift with the boots, stand in the well, acquire free Noble Round into your Lumina hand cannon. But there's weird inconsistencies that we only learned about over time effing around with the build. For example, if you use the Empowering Well rift with Boots of the Assembler and then shoot your teammates with the Lumina hand cannon buff, the duration of that buff will sometimes only last for 5 seconds. seconds, which shouldn't be right. However, if you use the Healing Well Rift with Boots of the Assembler, then tag your teammates with the Lumina hand cannon, they will 100% of the time get the full Blessing of the Sky buff, which if you didn't know is the 20% damage buff for a full 10 seconds. That's what we are looking for because 10 seconds is longer than 5. Trust me, I double checked the math. Another weird thing we found out is that if you stand in your Assembler Rift alone, you will get noble rounds in your Lumina, but it's going to happen way slower. When we first started effing around, the game plan was to have Warlock Wellbro insta-activate the Rift in the back and wait for Lumina rounds while teammates 2 and 3 run forward, maybe challenge the other team and wait for their buff. Again, standing in your well alone takes a while for the Lumina rounds to pop in, like 10 seconds about. But if your teammates are standing in the Rift with you, the noble rounds will pop into your Lumina hand cannon way quicker. Only just a few seconds. And that brings up a really big problem though, depending on what map or game type you're attempting to use this terrible build on. If you have all your teammates insta-leap into your well at the beginning of a round, if you happen to be playing Trials, you may have trouble right away because you're flat out giving your opponents free map control. When we tried the loadout on Bannerfall, every team ran out and took control of both Power Spawn and the Mohawk almost each and every time without any challenge. Not exactly what a lot of people would call an ideal situation. Granted, there are probably some maps where you can just get around that. I mean, Javelin 4 comes to mind, but yeah, it's something that you're gonna have to think about. Either you stand in the Rift alone and get a Lumina buff slowly while your teammates try to get map control, or you all stand in the Rift together and get the Lumina buff quickly but give up any chance of early map control. Other options and things to talk about. Bow users, if you're getting fed Lumina rounds to power you up, if you're a hunter, God forbid, you can put on the Oathkeeper exotic gauntlets. Paired together with Monarch, you can literally hold down a perfect full draw forever without having to worry about effing up your Monarch shot. You will always fire a fully drawn, full poison damage Monarch arrow each and every time. You can also pair that together with a 120 RPM hand cannon. I know, double primary is yuck to a lot of people, but the good news is that if you're accurate with both the Monarch and your 120 RPM hand cannon, you can get a near insta-kill by swapping from bow to hand cannon. That way, if your Warlock player feeding you the buff dies or is bad, or if the enemy team decides they want to bail the F out and hide, and again, they will, you can still manage to be an annoying solo threat player with no buff. If you have an aggressive frame sniper rifle, i.e. Frozen Orbit, Bite of the Fox, Long Walk, Trophy Hunter, yada yada, they'll for the most part have the power to one-hit down people in the body, but only if they're running very low resil. Rocking an ag frame sniper with the perk High Impact Reserves will allow you to clown people with much higher resil. Lorentz Driver and Arby can also take advantage of a 20% damage buff with body shot trolling, and I cannot stress this enough, anyone who pops off in the comment section about this build being broken, believe me, man, it's so much work to set up and so much in-game micromanagement and communication between you and your teammates and time. I'm telling you, you will probably be better off playing normally with a regular build. In Control or Iron Banner though, it was so much easier to manage. Almost frighteningly easy. Thankfully, 6v6 isn't taken very seriously by the majority of the player base, I'll say. Now, I'm not telling you to not do this with a group of people next time Iron Banner comes around, but I am telling you that God sees everything you do. Whatever Warlock player who decides to be the guy or gal maining the Lumina and well maintenance together, you better be cracked with whatever backup weapon you got, because Lumina can put in work, but let's say it's nowhere near as good on its own in a 1v1 as its bigger brothers Ace, Thorn, Dire, or Pally. Don't say I didn't warn you. If you got a build that maybe isn't quite as evil, let me know what it is down in the comment section. And all kidding aside, boys and girls, for the love of God, at the end of the day, it's just a video game. Like, subscribe, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.